Hi. So today I'm doing another book. Well, kind of a book. It's another kind of. It's kind of what you asked for without really asking for it. It's a graphic novel and it is called GremoryLand. Now it was kind of also a recommendation from Larry, and I swear the next one is mine. It is all mine. But it goes back to the story of when I was first realizing that you guys wanted to see more book videos. And so he gave me two quick ones to get through, and this is one of them, even though it took me a while longer to get to this one than I originally planned. He hasn't read it yet, he let me borrow it, and I'm kind of glad he did because it's so much fun. Now, I don't know if you ever fantasized about something like this when you were a kid, but have you ever pictured yourself like being locked in a mall after hours and just kind of taking it over? Well, I did. That idea kind of fascinates me. I guess it's kind of like being in an abandoned place. I always kind of wanted to do that too. I always thought in the back of my mind it would be cool to find an abandoned mall and hang out there. But anything abandoned, I'm just drawn to. And this kind of reminds me of it without really being it. I'll explain. This is what it says on the back. 6 old school friends are invited to be first visitors of GremoryLand, a new horror theme park that promises an experience as unique as it is scary. But once they walk through the gates, there is no turning back, and they find themselves facing their most desperate fears in order to survive. The friends need to stay united, but GremoryLand will do everything in its power to tear them apart. To escape this twisted carnival, they have to survive their own worst nightmares and each other. So what also makes this fun, besides the story itself, is the details. So I don't want to show anything that would really give it away, but this is what the cover looks like, and the back. And I'll show you one page so you kind of get an idea. It's really well done. And based on the story itself, I mean, a horror theme park, that sounds amazing. So of course I was intrigued right away to borrow it and read it, and I'm glad I did. Because I am past the high school years by a few years. But I kind of like stories like this because it kind of reminds me of some of my friends. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but reading about like teenagers and stuff, it always kind of brings me back until it doesn't when something goes horribly wrong. But for a while, it's a nice little nostalgic story. So it covers who decided to get them there, why she wanted them there, and it goes through all their friendships. You kind of see that they're all scared, they're all trying to get through it, and it kind of has a little bit of like Chuck E. Cheese to it. And I only say Chuck E. Cheese and not something like Bullwinkle's because Bullwinkle's was fun. Chuck E. Cheese was terrifying. So it kind of has a little bit of that. You know, the animatronic kind of creepy thing. It kind of has that vibe going for it. There's a map in the beginning. I'm not giving this away. There's a map of all the places that they're going to hit in the beginning. And so you see them go through everything. Each of them has their own fear, which that part actually kind of reminds me of Pennywise. You know how he tries to dip into all the stuff that they're afraid of? It's kind of like that, but in a theme park. So it's good. It reminds me of those old theme parks. I mean, obviously this is brand new because it says on the back it's brand new, it hasn't even been open yet. But it kind of reminds me of that. I don't know, because of like the fear aspect. I don't want to give too much away, but it kind of reminds me of that. In a sense. Maybe because it reminds me of a place that's kind of old around where I live. That could be it. It probably doesn't give that feel off at all to anyone else, but it does to me. And you would think, based on my last video, it took me a long time to read. It didn't. I read it in like maybe 2 days. It was a quick, fun, easy read. Of course, graphic novels usually are, right? But yeah, it was a good story. I couldn't put it down. I'm like, okay, I'll read like a couple chapters a day. And then I got to the couple chapters. I'm like, okay, I'll read 3 this time. Got to the 3rd. Okay, I'll read 4 this time. And then I stopped because I didn't want to finish it too quickly. But like a day and a half later, I did. So that didn't really work out. But it's good. If you like graphic novels, if you like scary graphic novels, I recommend you picking this up. And I know I keep looking at it just because I have it in front of me. I know I keep looking down, but it's because it was right in front of me. I will try not to do that for the rest of this video, which is pretty much it now. I mean, I'm done. But it's a good read. If you like graphic novels, if you like horror novels, if you like horror graphic novels specifically, and you haven't read this yet, I recommend you read it. And Larry, I know you said you haven't read it yet, but I think you should read it. I know you have stuff lined up for you to read, and I'm not telling you to put those down and read this immediately. Take your time with those, because I know what those are, and I would do the same thing. But you should eventually read it. I think you'd like it. And I know one day I will get to a book that I don't like. I will get to a movie that I don't like. And I'll say, it was alright. But this isn't today. I liked this. I think you should read it. See you next time. Bye.